Welcome back, action figure fans, for another Versus video here. We're going to be looking at the two big androids in the DC and Marvel universe. So we have, on one side, we have the DC Classics Red Tornado, and on the other, we have the Marvel Legends newly released Vision. So let's go ahead and look at these figures a little bit closely, appreciate them, and I will talk about who they are and their powers. Okay, so here we have the Red Tornado. He is an android created by T.O. Morrow, I believe. And he's been a long-time member of the Justice League of America. And he can create tornadoes. Imagine that, Red Tornado. And he can control wind. And he uses the wind control to create tornadoes to various effects. You can see he has one here on his hand. Usually what you see is the tornadoes coming out of his waist all on down. And visually, he is a just striking character. I mean, the red and the yellow and the blue, it just looks really, really great. I really like, and I've always liked the way the Red Tornado looks. He's been a long-time member, like I said, of the Justice League of America. He's superhumanly strong. Obviously, he's a robot. And he controls, like I said, the winds. So he's going to have a high degree of durability and endurance because he's a robot. So look at this figure. This is, like I said, this is a DC Classics. DC Classics made probably some of the best DC figures ever. DC Direct does really, really good, but it's kind of hit and miss with them. DC Classics was always on point, always making really, really good figures. Okay, so like I said, super strength, weather, the wind control, tornadoes, durability, and endurance. Now, it's also been revealed that he is truly an air elemental, kind of like Swamp Thing is an earth elemental. He is a air elemental, and so he is a creature that really cannot really truly be destroyed, but his, quote, spirit has been housed in some way, shape, or form, has been housed in this android body. So he needs this android body for his earth elemental to inhabit. If the body is destroyed, the spirit of the earth elemental goes someplace else. Okay, so the body is important for the Red Tornado. It's something very important to remember. Very, very cool character and very, very cool figure. Okay, moving on to the Vision. This is probably the best, no problem. This is the best Marvel Legends Vision made. Marvel Selected did an awesome one, and I like the size of that one, but this is just a spot-on perfect, the Vision, especially that face. That face really captures it all, and the colors are just really, really spot on. This is a fantastic Marvel Legends, and if you want to put together a really good Avengers display, you really need to have a very good Vision, and this is the one to get. Okay, so let's see. The Vision was originally, he was created by Ultron 5. Ultron 5 took an old robotic body of the Human Torch from the 1940s, not the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. He took the Human Torch from the 1940s, and using Simon Williams' brain waves as a copy, he created the Vision. And so the Vision is called a synthezoid. So he is a mixture of organic and robotics and human elements, the brain waves from Simon Williams. And so here we have the Vision. Now the Vision is extremely powerful character. Okay, so he can control his density. Number one, he can control his body absolutely. So he can create himself with like zero density, basically. Means he's like a ghost. His atoms can slip through the atoms of anything solid, so he can actually pass through solid objects. And like I said, that's just his atoms moving in between the atoms of whatever he's passing through. And why he is doing that, this is one of his great powers. He can solidify basically any part of his body that he wants to. And one of his most devastatingly powerful attacks is where he will put his hand or arm into an opponent, why it is like a ghost, zero density, and then he will raise the density ever so slightly. And you could imagine what it would be like to have something materializing inside of your body. It's a total shock to the system. And so for most beings, even superhuman beings, that is a devastating attack, and they usually lapse into unconsciousness. There are some beings, the Incredible Hulk springs to mind, probably Thor, probably Heracles, maybe the Thing of the Fantastic Four. There are certain beings of enough power that would not knock them out. They would be able to withstand that. But even then, what if he went to the head? What if he solidified his fist inside the brain? Well, for most people, that would be game over. Okay, so he can control his density. And at his most dense, he is 50 tons. He weighs 50 tons. And they say his skin is as hard as a diamond. But you know, diamond's really, really hard, but diamond can be shattered. Diamond can be broken. Diamond can be cut. So even at his most dense, he's not totally invulnerable. Beings of sufficient power like Thor, the Incredible Hulk, the Sentry, I think that density, they could hit him and shatter his body at his most dense. So he does have superhuman strength. I believe he can lift 50 tons. And as he gets denser, his strength will increase. If he's like a ghost, he can't lift anything. He does have enhanced durability. He does have, endurance. And at his forehead, he has a solar jewel. And so most people don't know this, but he actually absorbs solar energy and stores it in his body, and he can release that in a very powerful concussion hot blast. I guess you could say like a laser beam, a laser blast can erupt from his forehead, doing massive damage. So, powerful guy. Now, who wins in a confrontation between the Red Tornado and the Vision? Like I do most of the times, they're just going to be out on patrol. They're going to be out moving around, and they come together and they start, for whatever reason, they think they're bad guys, or they don't. There's always a misunderstanding, or they're compelled by the Grandmaster, something like that. They're compelled to fight. So who's going to win? Well, first of all, I think that the Red Tornado would take the quick advantage with his wind powers, and he would quickly be tossing the Vision around, smashing him into some buildings. The Vision would quickly recover from that, and the first thing that he would do with this wind attack is he would turn himself into a ghost-like form, and the wind would move right through his body, and he would basically be able to stay in one spot, even with the tornado raging around him. Then I think he would launch an attack against the Red Tornado, getting close to him. He would use his beam against his body, hitting him and definitely doing some damage. I think that the Red Tornado would start maybe using his tornado to pick up objects, and using objects to also be attacking him. But I think that the Vision would just stay in his ghost-like form until he got close enough. And then I think he would do his classics. I think he would put his hand right into the chest of the tornado, and I think that he would slowly solidify his hand. This would be a shock to his system, but I don't think it would put the Red Tornado down. I think once the Vision started doing that, I think the Red Tornado would be able to attack him physically at this point and land some hits physically. And I think the Vision would then at that point turn, to his highest density. I think that he would drop to the ground. I think that he would switch over to maximum density. 50 tons is what he would weigh. He'd be cracking all the pavement around him. And then I think he would just start pounding on the Red Tornado. The Red Tornado would launch, like I said, he would launch his biggest wind attack at that point. I think the Vision would be able to ride it out at 50 tons. And I think that the Vision would start to rip off parts of his body, and then he would smash his robotic body. At this point, I think the Red Tornado's body would pretty much be destroyed. Like I said, Vision would rip his arms off, rip his legs off. He would just rip his body apart. Once his body is ripped apart, the spirit, the earth elemental, would come out of the Red Tornado. And like I said, for a brief period of time, I think that he could still be launching his wind attack on the Vision. And actually, at this point, with the Red Tornado with free of his body, I think that he could actually lift up the Vision with his tornado at this point. But I think the Vision would just switch back quickly to his wrath-like, ghost-like form, and then the Vision would watch as the earth elemental, the spirit of the Red Tornado, slowly dissipated to be reformed at a later date when his body was rebuilt. So, who wins this battle? I think the Vision definitely wins this battle. I don't see how the Red Tornado could ever defeat or overcome the Vision's ability to turn from the ghost-like state all the way to the hardest diamond. I don't see how he could defeat him with that ability. Just couldn't do it. And plus, like I said, the Vision is just as strong, if not stronger. And he has that quote laser attack out of his forehead. So definitely the Vision would put the Red Tornado down for the count. All right, thanks guys. Hope you liked that video. If you did, please leave me a like, leave me a comment, tell me what you're liking. Also, please check out my other videos. I'm making those videos for you, and I hope you check them out. Just as a quick little bonus, there are some of my Transformers that I got out today. Me and my little boy are watching G1 Transformers right now, and so I decided to show him some of the combiners. They're cool, aren't they? All right, guys, take care.